Welcome, Mountaineer athletes. Thank you for joining me today. Today is all about nutrition, how you can optimize your nutrition, what you put into your body, and fuel yourself for best athletic performance. So, just to start off, just want to talk about the importance of nutrition generally, and then how that translates into our performance on the field and how we can best alter our diets and lifestyles to, best support this. Starting off, we have nutrition's impact on performance. So, energy levels, state of mind, strength, recovery, immunity, and overall health. So, you could go on a lot further than this, but these are some main, things that are going to be affected through what we put into our body. And they all are very interrelated and support one another. So, you want to make sure that we're optimizing as best we can. If we want to be a competitive program, we want to max out everything we can to give ourselves the best chance of success. And these are just good health recommendations, just in general. So for healthy living, hydration is going to be our first topic. So big for us is hydration and keeping hydrated before, during, and after exercise. So this includes training sessions, strength and conditioning sessions, practice, games, tournaments, all that. So hypohydration refers to a water deficit, so dehydration, not having enough water, and electrolytes, which I'll get to. And this increases our cardiovascular strain. So think of this as your heart having to work a lot harder when you don't have enough hydration in your body. So this is going to raise your heart rate, raise your perceived exertion levels, which is considered RPE in fitness and training. We call this the ratings of perceived exertion. This is a scale from 1 to 10, and we like to, ask our athletes, how hard do you believe this exercise is? How hard do you believe you're working? And if you say 10, you're really maxing yourself out. You're giving 100% flat out effort. And then 1 is, you're sitting on the couch laying down, 0 effort essentially. So your RPE is going to increase how hard you believe the exercise to be if you're dehydrated. So you don't actually want that. You want to keep that actually lower, so you can go for longer in your sport and, avoid that fatigue early on. So anaerobic power, strength, and endurance all decrease, as you'd imagine, from this hypohydration. During exercise, you should be drinking 6 to 12 ounces every 15 minutes. So this is during, like I said, training or games. Practice, obviously, this is a lot more difficult during certain situations, certain sports. For example, soccer athletes, you're on the field for extended periods of time. You can't just, go off and get water. So you do your best here and try to hydrate when you can. Other sports where there's breaks in play, you want to make sure you're hydrating and taking advantage of that. And you can think of hydration as all the fluids you consume in a day. So this is the water, the electrolytes, and even there's water in your food. So good to know. Electrolytes. So this is a great topic. It's going to help you produce energy, regulate fluid balance, strengthen your bones, all very key for athletes. And you lose electrolytes when you sweat. So every sport, you need to replenish. So the main ones here we have are sodium, potassium, and magnesium. Some foods that you're going to get a lot of electrolytes in, spinach, yogurt, and bananas, great options food-wise. Beverages include coconut water, milk, electrolytes, or Gatorade. You can also throw in, putting a bit of salt in your water. People will do that for workouts or for training sessions, just to keep those electrolytes up and replenish when necessary. I actually brought some electrolytes here just as an example. May have seen these before. It's called Element. So this is one of the top brands for electrolytes, different flavors here. And here we have 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 magnesium. You can see that here. I'm going to show you how to use this. Very simple, just packages, different flavors. This is citrus salt. I'm going to tear this open, just a powder. And just a small kind of thing here. You're gonna pour it in water, about 500 milliliters or so, roughly this. Pour it in here. See that powder. Stir it up. You want to use more water. It dilutes the taste a little bit. Otherwise, if you use only a little bit of water, it's going to taste very salty, which, I mean, if you like that, awesome. But it still will be salty, even with this amount of water. And you will feel it right away, especially if you're dehydrated. So you want to drink this. I like to drink one a day, especially if I'm working out, training, stuff like that. Um, Tastes good too. So no sugar or anything like that in there. Um, Next up, we have the importance of protein. So muscle repair, recovery, metabolism. You guys probably all familiar with this to some degree. Just want to really highlight again the importance. Protein are the building blocks of life, they call it. So this is key for athletes to repair the muscles. So you're ready to go on game day, recover as fast as you can, and as well as you can, and have that metabolism working, firing on all cylinders. So athletes, due to activity level or training sessions than the average person, you need more protein. So it's good to know how much protein you need, in terms of math wise. So 1.4 to 2.0 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight is the recommendation for athletes. And I'm just going to show you an example. So a 75 kg athlete that's about 165 pounds for reference, is going to need 1.4 on the low end. So that's 105 grams. You can see here multiplying 75 times 1.4 and then 75 times 2.0 for 150 grams. So between 105 and 150, I would suggest personally middle to high range of that is a good goal. Protein, it's hard to overconsume protein. And when you consume enough of it, it's actually going to keep you quite full and satiated, really good for promoting lean muscle gain, which is good for athletes. And it's going to really prevent the sugar cravings, fast food cravings, and it's going to help you avoid unhealthy food. Different protein sources include animal-based options. So just a few of them are chicken, fish, turkey, and beef. Again, there's more options than that. You can see on the screen here. Plant-based would be tofu, legumes, quinoa, and hemp seeds. And both animal and plant-based protein powders are a good option for supplementation. So supplementation is underlined here because, for a good reason, we don't want protein powder to be our main source of protein. Supplement itself means to add on. So it's great if you're in a time crunch or you don't have anything prepared. Make a quick protein shake. You want to get your protein in for the day at the end of the day to sort of hit your target. But ideally, we want majority, 80-90% of our protein to come from whole foods, natural foods, like the ones that are listed here on the screen. Meal timing, so very important, as what you're eating is when you're eating it. So consuming protein every 3 to 4 hours in 20 to 40 gram increments best supports muscle protein synthesis. So how our body can use that protein optimally. This whole presentation is about optimizing our nutrition and performance. You ideally want to spread this throughout the day. Can be tough if you're busy. Schedule, lifestyle, classes, work, all that I know gets in the way. But try your best, hit these targets, and you'll be doing a lot better. Consuming carbohydrates before exercise is necessary. So this is our major fuel source during intense exercise. Before training, we have the recommendation to eat a meal 2 to 4 hours prior and a snack 30 to 60 minutes prior. So higher in carbs, this includes dairy, fruit, whole grains. Example meal could be Greek yogurt bowl with granola and fruit, so tastes good. It also helps us function well. And apples with peanut butter and raisins. So just a couple options for you guys. Obviously, when you are traveling, so you don't have as much access to a kitchen. If you're in a tournament setting where you're kind of in one location for the day and you have to bring, a cooler or something like that, this is going to be a lot more difficult. You just try your best, and instead of having full meals, you would just have snacks spread throughout the day, and electrolytes, like I showed you before, to fuel yourself and replenish those glycogen stores that are being depleted. So, like I said, replenishing glycogen stores. So that's like our fuel in the gas tank, especially on tournament days, game days, it's going to be drained pretty quickly. So we have to be consistently adding, fueling up, and using the electrolytes, water, sports drink if the session is longer than 60 minutes. That's typically the recommendation, and a high protein meal is really key. Healthy, high protein meal example would be grilled chicken with roasted vegetables. You could go salmon and sweet potato, and you can go oatmeal with protein, banana, and almonds as well. Game day. So game day, like I said, tournament day, similar to, if you're training, the approach doesn't really change that much. Ideally, you want to really focus on carbs and water. 2 hours before, that's 14 to 22 ounces of water. Whole wheat toast with almond butter is a good meal, slash snack, whatever you want to call it. And then 1 hour before is fruit, so watermelon, oranges, grapes, or cantaloupe. After, focus on hydration again, 16 to 24 ounces of water. Next up, we have caffeine. So really important to discuss this substance, supplement, whatever you want to consider it as or categorize it as. Studies show that caffeine can improve overall endurance performance, power sport performance, intense exercise, all that. So the benefits are clear. And drinking 30 to 60 minutes beforehand is optimal. So caffeine is okay to drink in certain quantities at certain times. So with these types of substances, you have to be disciplined, right? So you got to be careful without consuming too much, as this could lead to a crash, anxiety, jitters, or digestive issues. Anyone who's really experimented or uses caffeine regularly will already know this, but you don't want to drink it too close to your bedtime. If you're going to bed at like 9, 10 p.m. or later, 9, 10 p.m., you would not want to consume caffeine after like 2 p.m. And then if you're going to bed at like 12, push it back a few hours, like 3 to 4 at the latest. You want it to be completely cleared out of your system, and just adjust if you're going to sleep later than that. Black coffee or tea is recommended. So this is keeping it clean energy. So without any added sugar or cream, or minimal amounts, and 400 milligrams or less daily. That's kind of like your maximum. You got to think of 400. You don't want to hit that unless you like absolutely need to. Ideally less, like 200, something like that. Or else it will start to add up and you'll fall into this caffeine vicious cycle of relying on this in order to get out of bed, to perform, to work out. And you don't want to be reliant on anything like that. Next up, we have alcohol. So alcohol is a good topic, popular for college athletes. So we should talk about, its effect on our body, our performance, and our mentality. So alcohol negatively influences motor skills, hydration status, aerobic performance, hormone balance, inflammation recovery. This is a big one, and mental health. So sort of negatively affects everything, if we're being honest. And you can see here on the field in the picture, this rugby athlete, he's not having a good time. He's kind of trapped in that beer mug and can't escape. So obviously you guys are college athletes, so alcohol is college students, alcohol is a thing, part of life. So if you must drink, don't go too crazy, don't go overboard. This is binge drinking. That's just a general health recommendation for safety. Um, Something your parents would probably tell you. 1 glass of water for every drink. That's the recommendation here. Hydration very key. If you're gonna drink, you don't want to be, destroyed afterwards or the next day. Never before on game day. And just be aware you're going to see a decline in performance here. Meal prep on a student budget. So meal prep's a very good topic for you guys. It's a good organizational habit for life. And it's going to save you time, save you money, stress, and it's just going to make life easier on a lot of levels. So you need a bit of guidance to start doing this, and it's going to take a lot of trial and error, but that's what I'm here for, to help guide you guys. So if you have any questions, I'm very happy to take them. You can ask me when I deliver this presentation in person to your team, or if or through email, Teamworks, anything like that. You want to buy items in bulk essentially and prepare meals 3 to 7 days in advance. So about you know, you want to meal prep once or twice a week. Some people want to do it all at once, get it out of the way. That works. That's great. But the food is not as fresh on day 5, 6, 7. Obviously, you're refrigerating it and trying to keep it still good. Or you could go the other route and do it every 3 days, but it requires you to do it twice. So pros and cons to both. You can buy oatmeal, rice, and pasta in bulk. And then less expensive protein sources would be eggs, whitefish or tuna, chicken breast, or beans. So frozen fruit and vegetables are very good for us. They're a bit cheaper than buying them fresh, and you can keep them for longer. And there's actually some benefits as well, health-wise. It's called snap freezing when fruit is, just harvested or whatever, vegetables, and then right away frozen, and then you see in the grocery store, it actually holds its nutrients more when it's frozen. So don't let anyone tell you that it's not as good. And meal prep, like I said, you want to be organized. So this is all about saving you time and stress in the future, but you have to pay up at the beginning, up front. Buying protein and vegetables, cook everything at once, and then distribute them into meal containers. You eat 2 meals out of the house per day. Times 7, that's 14 meals. You do it twice, that's 7 on, let's say, the Saturday or Sunday, and then do it again on the Wednesday or Thursday. And you're constantly kind of topping them up, and you do your best to try to minimize the meals you eat out. And this will make your life a lot easier. So it saves you up time, frees up a lot of time, because if you're cooking every single meal right before you eat it, you're going to lose hours and hours, and you guys are busy with athletics, strength and conditioning, practice, traveling, school, work. I don't have to tell you guys how busy you are. And 1 to 2 hours of prep at the beginning of the week is going to save you a lot. It's going to decrease the likelihood of you turning to fast food or unhealthy options when you're in a time crunch. So really try to be proactive instead of reactive with this. An animal-based example grocery haul. So you can look at the pyramid here. So carbs, fats, and protein, all key to a whole foods diet, and a balanced diet. So chicken breast, salmon, steak, eggs, really great protein options, like I've said. Rice, oats, fruits, and vegetables, good carb sources. And then fats, we have our olive oil, healthy fats, avocado, from our eggs, we'll get some healthy fats, some milk, and from our nut butters. So animal-based crowd, you can look to this slide. Plant-based or plant-forward crowd, you can go for chickpeas, lentils, Greek yogurt, vegetables. This could include broccoli, cucumber, or spinach. Fruit, so apple, banana, orange, berries, the list goes on. Canned beans and multigrain pasta or tortillas. So that's the bulk of the presentation here. I'm open for questions. So just don't feel, hesitant to come ask me questions about nutrition. I'm very happy to help you guys out, guide you in the right direction. Um, I have some studies as well if that interests you. So thank you very much for taking the time joining me today. I hope you guys all have a fantastic off season and summer, and get ready for the upcoming season and absolutely crush it. So take care.